All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I know some of you are here early. Thank you so much for being here so early. Welcome to our final panel session of today, which is called The Future of Warehousing, Robotics, Artificial Intelligence, and Humanoids. As warehousing are entering a new era, we're seeking robotic streamline tasks like sorting on inventory, AI drive intelligent decision making, and humanoids introduce adaptivity, human-like capabilities. So these are the few functions. These sessions will explore how this technology works in synergy to create responsive, future-ready supply chains where human-machine collaboration is key to peak performance. To guide today's discussion, we are honored to welcome our moderator, Dr. Ishkandar Baharin, President of the Malaysia Robotics and Automation Society, in short, MyRAS. Dr. Ishkandar is a pioneering figure in Malaysia's robotic landscape, having served as an advisor to the National Robotics Roadmap and held leadership roles in global robotic alliances. As Executive Chairman of Tech Capital, he champions IR 4.0 solutions and cross-border industrial innovation too. Please join me welcoming Dr. Ishkandar Baharin to the stage. Thank you. Now, welcoming next our distinguished panelists. First up, let's have Mr. Edwin Yap, Executive Director of Jemco Warehouse Solution. Edwin leads Malaysia's largest manufacturer of retail and warehouse shelving system. He also heads Jemco Technology Solutions, driving smart house automation and AI robotics. His vision integrates intelligent manufacturing with workplace development, positioning Jemco as a future-ready logistic partners. Next up, our next panelist will be Mr. Yoke Loong, Managing Director of Southeast Asia, Kardex Malaysia Senior Berhad. He oversees Kardex regional operation across Southeast Asia, Japan, and Korea with a background in engineering and project leadership. He brings deep expertise in automated storage and retrievable system AS/RS, helping industries optimize intra-logistics through scalable intelligent solutions. Last but not least, let's welcome Mr. Chee, Managing Director, Prima Automation Senior Berhad. Is a seasoned automation leader with over 2 decades in robotics and industrial system, formerly CEO of Kuka Robotics Malaysia. He now helms Prima Automation, delivering Industry 4.0 solutions in intra-logistics, MES, and robotics integration for Malaysian manufacturers. So once everyone is comfortable and seated, I'd like to invite Dr. Ishkandar Baharin to begin the session. Over to you, Dr. Ishkandar.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Hi, everyone. I hope you all are having a great day today. I've been given the opportunity, the privilege to moderate this session, actually. And I'm very honored to be here on this stage today, this evening, or this afternoon, to help moderate this session. And hopefully our session will bring value to all of you here in this event. And I can say, based on my experience, very honored actually to have Mr. Man, or CY, we call him, a very, very sifu or senior person in robotics. I myself also is in robotics. I can see that I'm sure he can share his personal journey in robotics, also in the space of warehousing. And we can also ask him questions, or he can also share his experience in terms of his vision and also in outlook in what we have. And we also have a younger second generation people. I see Edwin, traveled a lot to China. We communicated, and he's very much in the know of humanoids, not only humanoids, but also I consider him the second generation in I can say the applications of humanoid robotics, intelligent robots and all that, yeah. And finally we have Jan, yeah, more on the AI space, in warehousing, in solutioning. So in this topic today, we have the combination of 3 technologies actually. We have how robotics, AI and humanoid can combine together. We play a role to warehousing. How we can bring value to warehousing. Okay, so my role here is to moderate the session. I would like to begin maybe just to share maybe with the panel here, CY, from a robotics perspective. Maybe you can share a bit. How do you see robots coming into the warehousing space, and what value it can bring, and as an opening remark lah, yeah, to warm up the session. Yeah, please, CY.
Okay, so if I were to add a bit of what is shared by Dr. He was saying there's a competition between three different streams, right? So I'd like to say that actually we are not really competing with each other, but different paths towards achieving the same goals, right? So actually the humanoid technology can be deployed alongside Kardex solution. It can be deployed alongside Prima automation solution, because it's really just augmenting the last mile of what we see in the warehouse automation. So it's really interesting to have a good mix of panel today and to share about how Malaysia is going to go through this journey, right?
Yeah,
so Doctor has also traveled a lot to China. We miss each other in China. Actually, both of us went to the World Robotic Conference, where we actually seen a lot of amazing technology being showcased in China.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe Siwa, you want to say a few words about maybe from the systems integration, the KUKA days especially. Our friend here, he's the pioneer during his KUKA days. He sells a lot of KUKA, I think, in the region of the founder. Maybe warehousing, how do you see that? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you look at how robotics can play a role in the warehousing industries, it's like Edwin says, connecting the last mile. Okay.
Yeah.
From automated system like Kardex, all right, all the way to the inbound and the outbound. All right. That is the last mile to me in the warehouse. So that is the challenge there.
The challenge, yeah.
Like for outbound, you have to do a lot of picking, order picking.
Yeah.
Now it's mainly manual.
Manual, yeah.
So, okay. For the inbound also, we have to do the palletizing from the truck.
Yeah.
So those are the areas that robot can play a role.
Meaning, it's still relevant lah.
Yeah.
Robot is still around lah in terms of getting value. Yeah. Maybe Jan, maybe you can share from the AI perspective lah, because I think you are now really white hair as well, very learned person. So a lot of AI in the brain, yeah. So warehousing needs a lot of AI solutions, I would imagine, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think when you talk about AI, there is many types of AI. There are AIs whereby you are talking with ChatGPT, human interactions AI. But most of the applications of AI in warehousing is mainly on data crunching and model prediction. So we are talking about what kind of data that is coming in terms of annual basis, monthly basis, and daily basis. With those data, the analytics could actually tell and enhance, let's say, the operations of where they know which SKUs is going to deplete soon, and they can make the order sooner before even the SKUs is being depleted. So that's data sides of the AI. And then, of course, you have the AI on the picking solution side. When we are talking about, let's say, using robots in a warehouse, we have robots of depalletizing, robots of moving pallets or items from one point to the other, for example, using AGV. And also you have robots for items picking. And for items pickings, you require a lot of, let's say, vision systems and data analytics to actually understand what kind of things that you are picking. And with those analyses, technically the robot would be able to identify what kind of grippers is required to actually pick the items up. And this requires lots of data and AI to support us.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. So I hope the audience will also start thinking of what type of burning questions you might want to ask our panel, because these are really resourceful person, not very easy to get their time, and also to be able to share some of their experience in giving solutions. Okay, my next question, usually people who are users, I can say warehousing users, usually their interest is, why do I need to robotize? Why do I need to bring humanoid? Why do I need to bring AI? Why do I need to bring in all these modernizations into my operations, my warehousing? Yeah. So I open to any of you gentlemen who like to share the why part. So I'm sure there's some value that we can offer to our audience, right?
Well, I think the simplest answer to why use AI, right, is what happens if you don't?
No.
Because if you don't use AI, and your competitors are using AI, they're able to increase their efficiency, they're able to lower their costs, then you are going to be the one who's going to get demolished by your competitors. You're going to be wiped out.
Yeah.
So last year when I had a chance to share about AI robotics in the market, right? So I had a show of hands from the audience. How many of them actually have used ChatGPT before? It was probably about 30 to 40%. And this year when I did a sharing again, I asked the same question. It was almost a whole floor who has experience using AI. So it's an inevitable trend. So everybody is starting to use AI already. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my view.
Do you want to test our audience here today?
How many of you has actually used ChatGPT before?
Can
Please
you put up your hand?
raise over your hand.
Oh, not full for Malaysia.
I see probably some audience from China as well.
Maybe
so
DeepSeek.
ChatGPT, yeah, is banned in China. So how many of you has used ChatGPT or DeepSeek before?
It should be
Yes,
100%
everyone.
lah.
That's
Come on,
basically
Malaysian. No, 100%. Oh, almost 100% lah.
Yeah, and we know, robotics has been around for more than a decade almost, right? And we have, an experienced veteran, CY here has actually, an interesting fact, he's the #1 employee here in Malaysia, right? He was also the first person to start up KUKA in China. So very experienced in the robotics space. But why has AI robotics come such a long way, and with all these different new technologies coming up? I would say the inflection point is when large language model come into the picture.
LLM, eh?
Yeah, LLM. And now we have the VLM that we can incorporate easily into the robotic system. So the robot is able to have a brain that it knows what it's looking at so that it can actually follow some tasks much more easier. So that's what I would say the inflection point that happened over the past few years. Because otherwise, humanoid technology has been around for more than 50 years. But we don't really see it in any setting, right? And not in any warehouse. You see a lot of KUKA robots, you see a lot of Kardex, but you don't really see humanoid technology. But I think that's going to change from now on.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else want to add?
Yeah.
Suwai?
I mean, since Edwin talked about AI, so I will share how AI can save the cost of implementation robotics solution.
Oh, yes, please.
Because with AI, we will cut down the cost of implementation, but not having too many fixture or jig.
Oh.
Because the robot will have the perception.
Okay.
So the gripper will be simpler.
Uh-huh.
All right, you don't have to position the product exactly. So
That's
it will
a
make
angle, yeah.
implementation easier.
The perception of it, the cost, reduce the
Perception.
cost. Yeah. This is, those are in robotics might not will appreciate this lah. I think I immediately pick up. You are right. Yeah. Anything you want to add? Yeah.
Well, if you look into adoptions of automations in existing environment right now, we see quite a lot adoptions in automotive. We see quite a lot of adoptions in electronics. Why? Because those tasks are repetitive. Those tasks could be heavy lifting as well, whereby utilizing a robot would be a lot more advantageous and also more efficient. Robots doesn't sleep. Robot doesn't apply annual leave. Robot doesn't go for holiday. Yeah. So the efficiency of a robot running on 24/7, same goes to applications of warehousing. It's the same. So either you deploy a tons of army to do warehousing stuff, or you can actually deploy automations of where now we have the trends of dark warehouse. Complete different, there's no lights, nothing.
Lights
all the
off.
robots are actually picking up items and getting all the bins into the pick stations, etc., etc. So these are already happening right now. So the adoptions is mainly, of course, we're talking about return of investment. Where is the dollar and cents? When does it make sense for people or for Malaysians or the industry to actually adopt this automation side?
Yes. Yeah. That's very true actually. So that brings me to my next question lah. So when I look at our audience, I mean, hopefully I'm trying to speak on behalf of the audience, maybe who are users of what we are trying to promote, to adopt. Yeah. You see, imagine in warehousing, currently in Malaysia, there's a lot of warehousing employs a lot of labor, human labor, and it has always been a labor game, labor cost game. So when we introduce technology, when we introduce, like, for example, robotics, SI, humanoids, and what more with your solutions, AI-based solutions, I would imagine the return on investment is going to derive from the how much savings you get from labor, the labor savings and all that. Right? So, and imagine that later there will be many people operating in the warehouse. Like today we see a lot of people around. You imagine that with technology, maybe we don't need so much people. Is that true? Is that true? Is that positive or negative?
Maybe I'll start first. Okay.
Yeah.
So I see, this kind of automation technology as a way of augmenting the human. You unlocked the hands of all these human labor, free from doing all the mundane tasks, the dirty, the dangerous tasks, right? And then they can focus on more of the higher value added tasks that they have on hand. They can, spend more time on analyzing on how to improve the processes, how to improve the process flow, how to be more efficient, rather than, carrying something from point A to point B, which is very low value added. Just let machines do all the work, and then, the human can focus on what humans do best, right? We adapt so well, we think so well, we can learn so well, and I don't think at any point of time that, a machine is able to catch up as quickly to reach a point of human level.
Yeah. So the keyword is augmenting and releasing human to do other things lah. Yeah. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, talking about ROI. Topic
yeah.
about ROI. So a lot of, from my experience, a lot is based on how many workers you can reduce.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
actually,
The
it's
normal
much
thing,
more
yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
Okay, we are talking about improve in efficiency, improve in speed, on-time delivery of orders. So if everybody can monetize all this, then you will get the ROI, a bigger ROI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very true actually. From a very senior person, sometimes when managers, when they want to justify their cost, their budget, they might always be trapped in the traditional way of number game. But sometimes you need an engineer probably to explain the intangible also. There's big value, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to touch base on these benefits and the ROI point of view. It really depends on what type of automations we are talking about.
Okay.
For example, in SRS is an automation.
SRS,
in AMR is an automation. Kardex Solutions is an automation. So what kind of automations that, actually the automations would enhance as well, not just the human and efficiency. It also enhance, for example, space efficiency. When it comes to space efficiency, if you have a warehouse that is 30, 40 meters tall, so your items or your pallets or your things that you want to store is actually going vertical. You're using a lot less space. With that lot less space, you doesn't need to expand more warehouses. So that's where the developments or we try not to touch the environments and we utilize whatever we have right now, but we go vertically tall. Yeah, it's just like we're building condominiums. Why? Because then we can actually utilize the vertical space. So with this, with the space that you can save, technically you don't need to invest in new warehouse, or you can actually minimize the warehouse spacing so that then you can actually go for example, manufacturing. For example, you can build manufacturing machineries to make money for the company. That is a lot more better in return of investment.
The space basically. Yeah.
So if I could add to that, right? So I think one of the points where most of the business owners, when they're assessing the ROI, right, they tend to neglect the marketing effect. So I'll use myself as an example. So our company now, we have more than 60-70% of the market share in the retail shelf segment.
Okay.
So more than 15 years ago, right, we made a bold decision. During that time, our revenue was probably only about 7 to 8 million ringgit.
Okay.
But we made a decision to buy a machine worth 6 million ringgit.
Oh.
So during that time, it was very crazy to the market. So everybody was talking about us. So we had a lot of marketing coverage. And at the same time, we were able to get a lot of international brands orders. We were able to score Tesco. We were able to stock Carrefour
New
as our
revenue
clients. Yes, because when they came to our factory, they look at the machines, they became confident. Right, so this is one of the marketing aspects that tend to be neglected as well. So like, as what's mentioned by Jan just now, we need to take a very holistic approach when we're assessing an ROI of a project. The holistic view of maybe I can create revenue instead of just savings.
Exactly, yeah. See, I like Edwin. He represents a new generation of young entrepreneurs who see things from the technology perspective and all that. Beyond the number game and all that. So
one more point I would like to add.
Yes.
Actually, in automation, you will reduce human mistake.
You just make mistake.
From my experience, one customers, when they transfer the goods from production line to the warehouse, they use manual forklift. A lot of damages. For example, a canned food manufacturer, you only takes one can to be damaged for the whole pallet to be rejected by customers.
The whole consignment gone.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, this is one real life experience.
And after producing so much, one can destroy the
whole pallet.
The pallet. Yeah. So this is also a very important knowledge sharing actually that I can share that is going to happen. Then the other one, okay, for you gentlemen, I'm going to give a bit of time also for question and answers if you guys have any question and answers. But in the meantime, yes sir, please. MC?
MC, may I please have a mic to our audience for question?
Giving the monotony, you can question answer, and I go back after it to the panel to just to challenge our panel and also the audience.
I'm Ong from
Yes,
FM
Mr. Ong.
Global Logistics. What are the pitfalls in the so-called robotics and artificial intelligence and humanoids? It's not only the machine that is. Now it's the human that comes in before all these things comes in. So, do you have the whole holistic solution to ensure that whatever the company wants to put the money in will materialize the end results? Otherwise, it's just you say number, this number, but then you don't have the total ecosystem in, you won't be able to achieve that, I'm sure. Please share with us real experiences. Thank you.
Very, very, very good question. From a very senior person as well, I imagine.
Mr. Ong from FM Logistics.
So
maybe I not to me, but our panel, right?
Maybe
please,
I'll start first. I think when it comes to investments, it's always look into the value that it brings in, right? So always you want to do an investment is that when you see a growth or when you have a trouble. That is two ways of how I see when you want to put in investment.
The timing.
The time, Because the growth perspective would be, if I want to grow, let's say by 100%, what should I do? Do I just duplicate of what do I have right now and hire double of the people that I have to make that operation works, right? That's one way. Or do I actually invest into something that can actually improve the efficiency of my existing operations, so that then you can actually get whatever you have in a more efficient way. We always look into operation excellence. That's important. Now the second thing is that when you are in trouble, for example, let's say in a warehouse environment, clients comes to us and says, I have problems hiring people. I cannot even find people to work with warehouse. And it's where the value that we bring in is a complete different value. Because we are trying to solve a problem that you cannot hire people, and with less people, you still can achieve the goals that your companies are set for. So that's how we see it.
Yeah. Yes, Edwin, yeah, please.
Yeah, if I could add to that, right? So, besides the obvious main problem of ROI, of course, one of the main problems that we face when we're trying to propose a project to a customer is also about the mindset. The mindset of adopting automation. Right? Sometimes the ROI actually makes sense. It's less than 2 years, but they just don't want to proceed ahead because they do not have the mindset of preparing for what's to come, right? Most of the small business owners, they tend to react rather than prepare. So I think I love a very good point that was raised by Jan earlier. You need to think about, if you were to grow your business 100% from now on, what do you need to get done? Now, what are the investments that need to get in place before you can achieve that goal?
Yeah.
So we need to be prepared because without a plan, if you fail to plan, basically you plan to fail.
Yes, yeah. Okay. See why you want to add anything? No. Actually, I understand what Mr. Ong. He's also asking from the holistic perspective. Is this a risk-free? What is the risk factor? Is it zero risk when you go into it? Because he wants zero risk, lah. He doesn't want any problem, right? Step by step. Yeah. So the sometimes younger generation all laju-laju kan. Yeah. But how do you handle that? It's true as well.
Yeah, that's where the steps are coming in, whereby first you do a POC. That's normal ways of agents will do things, right? Proof of concept. So with the proof of concept, technically you get some data to actually prove to you that the solution would work. Once the POC is done, then it's actually a proliferation. Normally, when we provide any solutions to our customers, we go by phase as well. Because we always say that, okay, let's say the first year, this is what you expect, and this is what we are trying to achieve. So you can start really from walking. For example, an automations could be just buy an automated system that, let's say, to store goods, but then you use human as the picker. Second step is actually to adopt robotics into the picking solutions plus vision systems. Third step is then to add now the mobile and sortations, let's say, into the operations. And then you can go for one step at a time to get into the whole complete total automated solutions of warehousing into the whole ecosystems. But with these steps, you have gate and checkpoint. That's where if the checkpoint is not there yet, then it's about improvement of the existing systems to meet that.
Actually, see what I want to ask you is about change management as well, isn't it? Change management. When you bring robot, the old days, sometimes is it a human problem? Is it a machine problem? Is it a process problem? So there's also experienced person actually to manage change management. So can you advise us on this?
Yeah, no, I want to add to the points that Yoke mentioned.
Yeah.
Actually the pitfall or the danger in implementation automation is how to ensure the connectivity between different systems. That one you have to be extra careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also needs experience. Also,
experience,
wonderful because
the connectivity within all the systems.
Yeah, maybe what I'd like to add to that was also the mindset, right? So the mindset of change. So human tends to be very resistant to change.
Yeah.
Right? Even when the data speaks otherwise. I'll give you a very simple example. So we hear a lot about autonomous driving, and the data actually shows that autonomous driving is a lot safer than a human driving the car. But whenever an accident happens, we tend to make very big deal out of it.
Yeah.
But if you look at the pure numbers perspective, right, it actually makes sense to deploy autonomous driving straight away. And humans are going to actually benefit from that because we're going to have lesser accidents, we're going to have lesser problems, and most of the machines will probably talk to each other, actually making it more safe as well.
Yeah.
So this is really one of the challenges that, when we're talking about automation and adoption of technology, the blockage that we have as a human. So that's just human nature.
You are right, Edwin, because actually the experience is the showstopper is the people inside actually. Even though you see the data is very clear that this is the issue, but because human nature, they will not, people, especially people are very old in the play, they will never want to admit that there was an elephant in the room. You see that? So, and that is more, introducing technology is more managing people's change rather than connecting the dot is also right, but I think how do you address suddenly you realize that you are the troublemaker in all this productivity and all that, yeah. So sometimes it's a balance between reality and also people myself. So sometimes technology doesn't come in because people are rejecting it, you see. So how do you see that?
Yeah, that's why implementation has to be in stages. That's going back to the same topics. Adoptions of human being into a certain technologies, they have to get used to it first. Just like when we are touching on EVs, right? We are talking about autonomous driving. Well, the technologies is already out there with the full autonomous driving without even human intervention. First, there are laws and regulations that doesn't allow so.
Yeah.
So the regulations in the government's perspective has to change. Second is actually the trust of the human being into the technology itself. That's why we still have now the middle phase of, let's say, the adoption perspective, whereby they let you touch the steering, they requires you to touch the steerings just to make sure that you feel you are safe, even though all the systems are there to monitor the situation. Same goes to warehousing. So it's a step-by-step adoption. You will have to try it out first.
Test drive lah.
You will get a taste of how good it is, then you will continue.
Yeah, that's true. Provided there's some company willing to sponsor that lah, there should be some entity to allow for that. What do you
It's
think?
definitely an uphill battle, but I believe we are making progresses. First of all, I think what is shared by Jan is also very true. It comes in stages, right? First of all, the first question that a business owner will ask is, has my competitor done it yet? Or if they have done it, okay, maybe I'll try it. So let's try small. Okay, if it works, okay, I'll roll it out. And then other competitors are going to start to follow. Definitely, I see the whole industry is making good progresses. So, but it's definitely still an uphill battle. So hopefully Malaysia is not lagging too much behind compared to the other countries.
Yes, yeah. I think if you notice, we did discuss a bit. Malaysia, our market is still smaller. I can say it's not a big market. So to automate also costs money. Yeah. So usually, to be fair to the business owner, I mean, if I put in so much money, can I get my ROI fast or not? Okay. And my market is already fixed, you see. So if I do this, can I capture a wider market and things like that lah? Because at the end of the day, it's all about survival, isn't it? Survival. So how can people like us who owns the technology, the product, can also support or achieve customers like this lah? So that it's a bit like hand holding also, is it? So how do you see that? Yeah.
I think Sia would be a very good candidate to
Senior
answer this
person.
question because being one of the pioneer in the industry to launch KUKA Robotics in the market, I think he probably has a lot to share.
Yeah, how KUKA did it those days, like it's a big, expensive, but being able to sell to SME, for example, it's not easy.
Yeah, just borrow from the points from Young. You have to go step
by step.
Step by step. Borrowing the experience working together with the international logistic company. Even they have money, they have all the reason to implement it, but they still go step by step.
Even though they have the money, but they still
They start by moving pallets around first. Then the second step, putting the pallet on the higher racking. So that's how they step forward.
Oh, even that slow, huh?
Yeah.
Walala. Okay. That's very interesting. Yes, Mr. Ong, yeah. Good lah. You're a very good student, yeah.
Given that robotics and humanoids are mechanical in nature, they don't last forever. They need to be maintained.
Okay.
And when the new technologies come, they become obsolete.
Okay.
So what are you going to do with it? When robots and humanoids, you are too dependent on it, later on, they fail. What is going to be your plan B and plan C as far as operation is concerned? Right? Artificial intelligence, I think is okay. Right? System. So what are you going to do? I know that one big pharma companies now, they have ASRS. Now they have to change because the vendor is no longer around. Disappeared. So what are you going to do? Right? And this is going to be very disruptive. Right? We can't guarantee that the big companies, whatever serving, will be there forever to them. So that's why you see one of the criteria for procurement is reliability of the equipment. That counts, even though it may come at a premium. So what say you now with so many of these so-called equipment suppliers, vendor here, so many, how reliable are they? What is the certification that's required to ensure that they are genuine? That's a reliability, and so forth and so forth. Now the world is very uncertain. Tomorrow, the China company can close down, delisted in Hong Kong, big,
Tesla also problem, what?
No, there's a problem, for us. You buy the house already, now you get stuck, then what are you going to do? Cry, I want my mama.
I feel like to answer, but I cannot, I'm moderator. I have to ask my friend, I feel burning, I want to...
just to answer from the robotic side. The brand which I worked before, I can see robots that are still working now, although it's 30 years, 40 years. All right, so I would say renowned brand in the market, normally their design life is 15 years.
15 years,
Yeah, that's European standard, 15 years, 1-5, yeah.
So
Okay.
should we disclose that when we sell? Should we disclose to the customer?
It boils back
15 years.
to the point when you select your vendor, your supplier, you should have a checklist. For example, mean time between failure,
Yeah, MTBF.
local support. Okay. Not
So if
solely
you choose
on
for
price.
the panel, you won't have that issue.
Okay, back to you.
I want to talk about this because now we are pushing for sustainability as well.
Okay.
So what are the companies or the manufacturers are doing in terms of sustainability, right? So this could be one of the point that actually the buyers should look into as well, because technically will the company be doing all this recycling, for example? Let's say if the systems are being tear down, what will happen to the systems itself? But right now, adoptions are more and more towards robots and not a complete cranes anymore. Well, there are, of course, solutions that requires cranes, ASRS, but there are also solutions more and more towards robots. And why? Because robots are single piece. And you can have 50 robots around, one down, 49 to go. Operations is not disruptive. And at the same time, when there is change in the organization or in the operation itself, you can reorganize the layouts, for example, to fit the purpose of the requirements at that time, using exactly the same robots. And of course, the reliability has to be there. There are plenty of players out there coming out one by one, and of course, you have to then really evaluate the histories of the company. But the histories is just one part. The R&D that it puts into that company for future growth, that is also another part where we have to look at.
Yes.
Okay, maybe an easiest example that I can raise here that is more relatable to all of the audience here is when we talk about the most important piece of technology that we have with us now most of the time, our phones, our smartphones, our laptops, right? So laptops and smartphones are actually improving very quickly. They're advancing year by year because of Moore's law. Although NVIDIA is breaking Moore's law now, the technology is moving even faster than expected. So why are we still buying smartphones? Because the smartphone is actually serving us value. We're able to use smartphone to communicate, get our job done, and it's already serving our value, right? So when we talk about investment in machines, okay, being an early adopter, maybe you can actually reap the benefit of actually having enjoyed the benefits of those technology first. So over the time, when you depreciated the machines over 15 years, for example, you already benefited throughout the 15 years. So it's fine to actually change and adopt new technology that comes out. So maybe you get the ROI even faster. What used to be 5 years can be now 2 years, or in the future it can be less than a year.
Okay, if I can add to his question, I think actually what I understand Mr. Ong is trying to say, you know, they are, our audience, they are the user. They are user of so-called technology. You talk about sexy thing like, you know, robots, humanoids, AI, you know. But all this technology, sometimes as good as, sorry, I have to quote a name like Tesla, for example. They might not be around forever. They started very big, very hype, you know. And this technology, there's a lot of hypes lah. But then when you start buying it, you're already stuck with it because suddenly the company doesn't exist anymore. There's no local sales and support anymore. So you are jam up lah. Unless internally you have your own R&D team or engineering team to maintain yourself lah. So how do you balance between the procurement process of managing the risk lah of all this? Because we are on the selling side, of course, we want to sell, right? But people on the buyer side, they are very worried, they are exposed, is it? So I'm in the middle, so I have to be, how do you handle that? I mean, representing the buyer lah.
Well, when it comes to, I would say from warehouse automation side,
Warehouse automation,
there is no emotional involved. There's nothing emotion. It's really about efficiency, value added, and that's it. Full stop.
Yeah.
Because if it brings benefits to the operations, you go for it. Yeah. If it doesn't bring right now, then you have to look into again a growth of projections. Then you will see when would you want to do it.
Yeah.
There are many industries, even in countries like Japan, which is, we understand it's very high tech. There are still a lot of warehouse that is manual. Why? Because if it doesn't fit the purpose for that moment, for that time, for that operations,
to automate, yeah.
why? Why they need to automate? But then now they are feeling the pain because they're going too late. Because they didn't adopt it early enough. Now they have aging populations. They cannot find people. They cannot do this. They cannot do that. Yes, a big problem.
Big problem, yeah.
So then it's a recovery. Probably we can say whether it benefits them earlier or now, or, you know, it's very hard to say.
It's true, yeah.
I like to see things in two different perspectives. You know, whenever we have a point of view, we always have a different point of view in terms of how we look at a problem. So what was shared by COI was we have to be very careful on the selection process, right? You need to set a certain criteria. Yeah. How reputable is the company? What is the service level? How good is their products? But people tend to make mistakes, right? Maybe you have done all that and you still selected the wrong vendor, for example. Maybe because they were trying to gain market share, so they offer at very low prices. But there has to be a reason why this company is not around anymore. If you think about it, maybe their service is lacking. Maybe their product is lacking. So what is left in the market right now could be actually very advanced technology, very advanced service that is able to help you solve your problem even quicker and easier. So one example I would like to raise is about 2-3 years ago. So I heard from my friend who had just visited the EV fair in China. There were more than 3,000 EV car brands. And this year there's less than 100.
Yeah.
But those that is left are really the ones with tremendous technology, good products, and they're able to serve their customers.
Yeah, the fundamentals are correct lah. Yeah. So I think those are the very key important things lah. I can say that when you want to, you're talking about moving to the next step, as what you say lah, Jan. Either you are at the growth stage or you the problematic stage. So which point are you? There must be a reason, a drive for you to change. Yeah. So and there's also a capital cost to it. So you must also know how much you are willing to invest, okay, and your expected return in doing all this lah, okay. So I think that's also, it needs a lot of consultant sometimes. You need sometimes external person to help the SMEs and all that, okay. Now this brings me to my next question lah. Now, when you talk about introducing all this technology, when you start exposing your operations to the cloud, to the internet and all that, remember I said that how do you see the exposure of internet security in machines or in operations and all that? Do you see that as an issue to be worried about or not to be worried about? How do you guys see that?
From my dealing with customers,
Yeah.
all right, in terms of this aspect, normally those bigger company will have their own team to synchronize this cybersecurity issue. So a lot of times they will request to do penetration tests.
Penetration test.
And they have a long questionnaire for you to answer.
Yeah.
So that is the way they handle this topic.
Exposure lah.
Yeah, exposure. Yeah.
Okay. For you, yeah.
Yeah. So, if you are not a big company and you cannot hire, let's say, consultants expertise to go for penetration tests, then you will have to look into these software suppliers. What kind of certifications do they get? Because technically, software right now is going into cybersecurity's certification as well. So there are multiple levels of level 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever levels of cybersecurity levels, whereby officials like TÜV, they're actually doing all these penetration tests and do a certifications for this so-called software house. So with that certifications, technically, and those are not one-time certifications and then it lasts forever. These are technically renewed annual basis or biannual basis. So you will have to continue to certify your software to make sure that they are robust enough for any cyber attack.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really love this question by Dr. Ishkandar. So only a person which is very well versed in technology use cases would ask this question, right? Because most of the business owners tend to react rather than prepare for what's to come. So I think this is a very good point raised by the panelists as well, is to have a holistic approach. Like when you're going to adopt a new technology, what is the risk that's going to affect the technology?
Yes, yeah.
And on the hindsight, right? I think just now we were having a lot of conversations on the ROI, on bringing in revenue to the company, but we have also talked about the machinery actually replacing humans. But in this case, right, if you need to get your product certified, you are actually creating more jobs. You are creating more jobs for the hackers. Hackers in the bad terms, but actually they are penetration engineers. Yeah, that helps you test the quality of your system, for example. You're creating more jobs into the market as well, and creating much more value into the society as general, and moving on higher up into the value chain. So I think that's actually a good thing if we look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So maybe yes, Mr. Ong, yeah. Or anybody else who are brave enough to ask question, please.
The trend now, based on the news that we have, warehousing now is going higher and higher, and you're using ASRS. That's the trend. Storia, 100,000. Omega, Alley, 200 plus thousand pallet, right? And so forth and so forth. There are many. My question here to the group is, why are they going this when you know that in future they're going to have problem with the mechanical equipment? We don't see it in Hong Kong, we don't see it in Singapore. They go for multi-tier building. Why Malaysia is adopting it now becomes a fashion. Here the land is still in abundance. There's no reason to go so high up, right? And from my personal experience, 25 years ago, when we had the VNA, not the ASRS, the VNA. It was a big multinational equipment company in the world, and to repair, they have to diagnose, they have to ask Singapore to come engineers, took them more than 2 weeks. So mean the 2 weeks, we have to hire monkeys to go and pick. Because the VNA, nobody else can go in. How to go and pick? So that's why selective racking is still the major part of the 3PL. Unless it's your own cargo, you can have the VNA, the ASRS. Whereas I don't see any reason why all those big guys, as you can see, the PTT is going to install how many 100,000 more pallets, $2.3 billion of worth warehouse with ASRS and so forth. What is the logic? Maybe you want to hear from you all. What is it that you or may know, I may not know? Thank you.
Well, this one I have to ask my panel.
Okay. Well, if we're talking about 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 or whatever that's on the top of number of pallets, the most efficient way is actually using as tall as possible, 40 meters high ASRS systems.
Go up, huh?
Yeah, to go up. And to build that kind of infrastructure, normally we go for a greenfield, whereby then you have a completely different new areas, and the frame and the racking itself is actually the structure of the building. That's how we design the whole thing of ASRS. And if you're talking about, let's say, Singapore perspective or Hong Kong perspective, whereby how come they do not have this? They have a lot. They have a lot as well. They have a lot of these kind of systems. Only for customers that actually has that kind of volume that requires these kind of systems. Other than that, we have warehouses of where in Singapore side, 8 to 10 meters tall, 5 to 6 stories high. It's very close to Hong Kong. It's exactly the same. Why they do not do that? Because they do not have the volume. So they rather build multiple different warehouses that can rent out to different customers that doesn't require that much of volume. That's where the difference are.
Yeah, just to complement what I know about Singapore and Malaysia. The ASRS market started since 1990s. Yeah, so it's nothing new here. All right. So even in Singapore, also in the 90s. In Singapore, there is like what you say, crack rack, ASRS. That means the structure is a supporting structure for the warehouse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Itself, huh?
Yeah.
Design in, huh?
Yeah, crack rack. Called crack rack. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's something new also to learn because sometimes all these things, the decision, the make or buy decision, sometimes you need a lot of studies and all that. A lot of studies. So I think these are the challenges and the issues. Okay, in mind, because we are already at the end of the session, but any burning questions from the floor before I pass to our gentleman here on the panel? Yeah. So I would like, yes, please. Yeah. Maybe you introduce yourself, where you're from, sir. And
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Good evening. So my name is Fitra. I'm from Produa Manufacturing at Serenda, Selangor.
Oh.
So I have one more general question. So you're talking about if we want to invest and we need to consider the ROI.
Okay.
Do we have the volume to amortize it properly lah?
Yeah.
So same as SRS, we invest a lot, but the return is not so good enough. So based on AI and humanoids, so for example like Produa, we want to sell our product as a value driven. So do we see that kind of implementation at Malaysia industry is a success story? We can already implement humanoids or AI, and it can reduce our cost very efficiently, and we can use it very, very long time. So this concern from my side lah. So from our top management, we are concerned on not fear of missing out, but is the ROI is actually benefit us in long term. So
very good question. Yeah.
Are you from the spare parts department? Manufacturing. Okay. So let's say when it comes to robotics, for example, in warehousing, normally it's depalletizing, picking, sorting. That's where the operations are. Now, of course, you can think about I think in automotive in Perodua, you have tons of robots in your assembly line. So I used to be from the automotive industry, so I was I know the industry quite well as well. And that's where the heavy lifting, what we call, it's actually done by now the robots. Let's say, or can be replaced by robots. In that case, then let's say the palletizing or sorting, those are easy tasks that you doesn't need so much thinking, right? And this is where adoptions to automations will definitely not only just reduce the number of operators that you need to use, but at the same time increase the accuracy and efficiency in terms of what you are doing. So this is where the calculations of ROI, normally it comes from the efficiency point of view, right? Because then you can actually run 24/7, just like any automotive productions would run for, right?
So I'd like to add to that from the perspective of beyond ROI.
Yes.
Well, of course, ROI, we talk about costs, what is the benefits that you have from adopting such technology. But beyond ROI, right, is we just can't find people. I'm sure you also face problem with hiring people in your plant as well. Because this is a common problem that most of the manufacturers in Malaysia is facing. So I'm sure Perodua is also facing the same problem. So you just can't find people to fit into the production line and do such work. Because it's dirty, it's demeaning, and it's dangerous to a lot of them. So they would rather sit in their office, under aircon, enjoying life, make YouTube video. That is a lot of the idols. There are a lot of YouTube idols now. A lot of kids want to actually just grow up and become a YouTube
gig economy
influencer. Yes.
Gig economy.
Yeah. So I think to go beyond just ROI, right, is we just can't find people. You have no choice. It's not even about FOMO. It's just that we are left with no choices, but we have to go with that route. So that's another perspective that we can look at whether or not to proceed with an investment.
Yeah. Sometimes, my experience, sometimes in Malaysia, we have to maybe create some big bang awareness that beyond ROI actually, as you say. Technology is all about beyond ROI. ROI is if you can tell your bosses, it's old school. You try to do, I hope you don't get fired. Okay? So the people like me, the old traditional people talk about ROI. But technology is talking about beyond ROI now. Okay? Return on value is another value, right? Return on value. So this is something new in Malaysia. So even our, organizations like you, try to push them. Attend seminar ke, ataupun create consultant to, because then you can ease off, then the reason to modernize is easier lah. Kalau tidak, there always this challenge of why change if things doesn't break down? Why change, you see? So that mindset will be jammed up, and that's why suddenly we realize, why Malaysia go down number 10, 20, 60 keep going down? It's because we didn't intercept at the right time. Yeah? So sometimes a balance between fear and risk okay? We cannot, in any decision, there's always risk. So that's why they being able to understand cost benefit analysis or risk and managing risk is all about, to me it's all about moving forward. Yeah. So maybe in our last round, I would like to maybe give maybe 1 minute for our panel just to share in today's experience. What do you think are the take home that our audience can bring back as maybe as a call for action kind of thing, in a few words? Yeah.
I would say for 1 minute, they say.
Okay. It's okay.
I would say that I think the last thing is about what I want to say already.
Yeah, your take home Your take home will be the take home.
My take home.
Yeah.
Okay. Adoptions of technology, like mobile phones. right? How fast you can adopt it to it. If you don't adopt your mobile phones fast enough, just like what Nokia, for example, has done, then you're out from the game. So we Malaysian, we want to be in the forefront of technology.
Yeah.
And so then we will benefit the futures of our future generation. Yeah? It's not for us. For us, we like it retro.
Retro. That's good, yeah.
So I'll keep it short into one phrase that I hope, to be the key takeaway of all the audience today, is to start small, reiterate fast, and then scale quick. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for me is the phrase beyond ROI.
Beyond.
So we have to consider the qualitative side also instead of just the quantitative side.
Yes. Yeah.
Qualitative side, right? Reduce human mistake, improve workplace safety, all these others. There are many others. Okay.
Oh,
right.
thank you. Thank you very much. So let's give applause to our panel for the very insightful sharing, event. And I hope you guys all of you have benefited from our panel. And again, thank everyone. And that's the end. I'll pass back to the MC to continue.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give another warm round of applause for Mr. Edwin Yap, Mr. Yang Yoke Loong, Mr. Manji. Let's give them a warm round of applause. And of course, our moderator, Dr. Ishkandar Baharin. Thank you. Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up today's Tech Talks, I'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all our speakers and panelists for sharing their expertise, insight, and bold vision for the future of warehousing, automation, and AI. From transformative technology to human-centric innovations, today's session has sparked meaningful conversation and opened new possibilities of our industry. So that concludes our TED Talks for today. We invite you to join us tomorrow at 10:45 a.m. for the next series of sessions featuring fresh perspective, cutting-edge solutions, and more opportunities to connect and collaborate. For your information, our show is open until 5 p.m., so feel free to visit the exhibitors in the hall for a view of available transformative solution. Thank you for being with us for today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow and the day after.